Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are building this product launch website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. In the previous video, we added the functionality of this FAQ section. Now in this video, we will design this footer. So let's get started. Right, here's my source code and let's go outside the FAQ section. And let's create a footer tag. Let's also give it a class of footer. And in this footer, we'll first of all create a container division. And let's also give it a class of footer container. And now we need to have two footer sections. We need to have this footer left where we have this content. And on the footer right, we need to have this content. So let's create a division with the class of footer left. And in the footer left, we will have an S3 for the logo. And let's give it a class of logo. And here let's tap Nova task. And after that we need to have a paragraph. And let's copy this from here. And let's create a P tag. And let's paste it over here. After this we need to create the footer right. So let's create a division with the class of footer right. And in the footer right we need to have this text. So let's copy this. Let's create a P tag and paste the text over here. And after that, we need to have these icons. So let's create a division with the class of social links. And that will have anchor tags for each of these. And you can add the links of your social media accounts over here. And in this anchor tag, let's create an I tag for the icon. So we need to have a class of FAB and FAX Twitter. So this will give us the Twitter logo. So if you go back to our website, here we can see we have the Twitter logo. And then we need to create another anchor tag, and let's type hash for now. And here let's create an I tag for the logo, and let's give it a class of FAB and FA Facebook F. So here we have this F icon, and then we need to have the LinkedIn icon. So let's create an anchor tag, and let's create an I tag. Let's type FAB FA LinkedIn in. And then lastly, we need to have this Instagram icon. So let's create an anchor tag and let's tap I. Let's give it a class of FAB and FA Instagram. And here we have the Instagram logo. So with that, we have completed writing the HTML of our footer. Now let's go to our style.css file and let's add the CSS. So let's create a comment. I'll just tap footer. Now, first of all, let's target the footer. So we have this class of footer for the footer. So let's type dot footer. Let's set the padding to 3 rem, top and bottom, 0 for left and right. And let's add the background color for the footer. And for the background color, we'll create a variable and let's call it footer bg. And let's create the variable. So let's scroll up. And here inside the root, let's go ahead and create a new variable. And let's call it footer bg light. And let's add the color as 06070A. And we'll also create one more variable for the footer text. So let's type -- footer text light. And let's set the color to A0AEC0. And let's do the same for the dark theme. So here let's type -- footer BG dark. And let's set the color to 171923. And let's type -- footer text dark. And let's set the value to 718096. Right now, let's use these variables inside here. And we're going to use this in our footer element. So let's type footer bg. And let's set it to var footer bg light. And for the dark mode, let's go ahead and type footer bg. Let's set it to var footer bg dark. And let's also add the text color. So let's type footer text. And let's set it to var footer text dark. And here let's go ahead and type footer text var footer text light. Right now, if we go back to our website, we can see that we have the color for the footer. Alright, let's go back and let's also set the text color. So here let's go ahead and type color. Let's set it to var footer text. And let's also add a transition so that we'll have a smooth transition when we change the themes. So let's tap background color. Let's set it to var transition speed ease, and color var transition speed ease. Right now the next thing we need to do is we need to display the two divisions, which are the footer left and footer right side by side. So let's target the container division, which is footer container. So let's type footer container, and let's set the display to flex, and justify content to space between so that they are to the extreme left and right sides. And let's also add a gap of 2 rem. Now let's change the color of the logo. So let's type footer, and we have this S3 with the class of logo. So let's type logo, and let's set the color to var primary color, and let's add a margin bottom of 0.75 rem. Right now let's style this paragraph. So let's type footer left P, and let's set the margin bottom to 0. Let's set the font size to 0.9 rem, and I think that's it. Right now let's style this paragraph from the footer right. So let's type footer right P. Let's set the font size to 0.9 rem. Let's set the font weight to 500, and let's set the margin bottom to 0.75 rem. Right now let's style the social links anchor tags. So let's go ahead and type social links. So here we can see we have this division with the class of social links. So let's type social links A. Let's set the color to var footer text. Let's set the margin right to 1 rem. Let's set the font size to 1.375 rem, and let's also add a transition of color 0.2 seconds ease. Now when you hover over this, we need to change the color. So let's go ahead and type social links A : hover. Let's set the color to var primary color. So now we can see we have this color change. Now let's go ahead and remove the margin right from the last element. So let's type social links P : last child, and let's type margin right 0. So with that we have styled our footer. Now let's also make it responsive. So let's search for a media query. So let's type media, and here we have 760, and we also have 768. I think we can add all the styles from 760 to 768. So let's copy this, or let's cut this from here, and let's go to 768, and let's paste it over here. So here we have 760. I'll just remove this, and now we have 990 and 768. So let's go to 768, and here let's go ahead and add styles to the footer. So let's have footer container, and we will set the flex direction to column. So now if we decrease the width of the browser window, now we can see that the elements are one below the other. And let's also add a margin top to the footer right. So let's type footer right, and let's type margin top of 1.5 rem. So this is how it looks. Right now let's take a look at the other sections, and let's see whether everything is responsive. Now this section over here is not responsive, so let's make it responsive. So now for this one, let's go ahead and go to the max width of 768 pixels. And this is the sign up section. So here we have this division with the class of sign up container. And in that we have the sign up content and the sign up form container. So we need to have both of these one below the other. So here let's go ahead and let's type sign up container. Let's set the flex direction to column, and let's also text align to center. Now let's target the sign up content, which is this content right here. So let's type sign up content, and let's set the margin bottom to 1 rem. I think we can reduce the font size of this paragraph. So let's go to sign up container, and here we have the sign up content paragraph. Here we have set the font size to 1.105 rem. Let's try 1 rem. and I think that looks alright. Let's take a look at the larger screen, and here also it looks alright. Right, now let's scroll up, and this testimonial section looks alright. Let's go to the other section, and this also looks good. And this section also is completely responsive. And lastly, we have this hero section. So let's also make this responsive. Now for the 992 media query, so I'll just search for it at media. And here we have 990 pixels. So here let's go ahead and target the hero section. So if you go to our HTML file, here we can see that we have this division of the class of hero container, and in that we have the hero content and the hero image. So we need to have these displayed one below the other on smaller screens. So let's type hero container, and let's type flex direction to column, and we need to have the image on the top. So let's go ahead and type hero content. Let's type order to. So now we can see that the image is on the top and the text content at the bottom. Now let's also change the font size of this H2. So let's type hero content. So here we can see we have this hero content, and that we have the H2. So let's type hero content H2, and let's set the font size to 2.5 rem. Let's also change the styling of the image. So for the image, we have this hero image container division. So let's go ahead and type hero image container. Let's set the margin bottom to 2 rem, and let's set the max width to 400 pixels, and let's also set the width to 80%. Now let's also target the BG shape. So here we can see we have this hero image BG shape. So let's go ahead and type hero image BG shape, and let's set the width to 100% and the height to 100%. So this is how it looks. And with that, we have made our hero section responsive. Let's scroll down, and here we have this heading. Now for smaller screens, let's reduce the font size a little bit more. So let's go to media, and here we have 768. Here let's go ahead and type hero content H2, and let's set the font size to 2.25 rem. And let's also make everything text aligned. So here in the hero container selector, let's type text align center. And with that, we have completely made our website responsive. So that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.